Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5, 10,
Minisode. Welcome to the Deadlights podcast, Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
I'm Mini Leslie. Bring you your mininess.
And today we got little Mini Dustin with us as well.
Howdy.
We decided him to bring him into the tiny space.
Hello. I do say howdy and I say y'all a lot. And people are like, are you from Texas? And I'm like, no, I'm just like, and I say folks too.
Folks, yeah.
You're just a country girl at heart.
They just come out.
It just comes out. It's just easier. It just rolls off the tongue.
Folks, y'all.
Well, Dustin, thank you so much for being on our show and talking about Brimstone with us. Kind of just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your filmmaking and the kind of movies you like to make, and I guess the movies you like to watch as well. First of all, just want to ask, are you a horror movie fan?
I do, yeah, no, I love horror movies.
Okay.
I think my favorite movie of last year was a horror movie.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Which was?
Mad God. Did you see that one?
Oh, that crazy like stop motion one?
So good.
Okay,
So
cool.
good.
What?
Very
That's in the bucket.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It is really
Okay.
good.
Okay, cool. Nice. So, and we've mentioned your website, readyfreddyfilms.com. I was kind of looking around there. It looks like you have some, Mad God-esque stuff going on there. Is that typically the style that you like to go towards?
The very last movie I made was called the Depression Trilogy, and I did that one, which included a whole bunch of special effects and stuff just to kind of teach myself. So it was the first time trying to do a genre. I try to pick different genres each time just for doing something new. But the last one was really cool because I was going to do it all myself, the post, just to save some production money.
Mm-hmm.
And so while we'd be shooting stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I think I can make you look like you're on fire. Let's try it, like just to test. And it ended up becoming something that I actually enjoyed. So what was like a bunch of test shoots kind of created something neat, which was fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun. So how did you get started in filmmaking?
I just always liked it, so just kind of was obsessed and stubbornly went for it, and just I went for like cinematography at first, but then I think throughout college I kind of learned that I liked the writing and the directing and the gathering of people and different specialties and seeing those juxtapositions and collaborations. So then I kind of drifted away from that, but yeah, so just kind of always been obsessed with it. So.
Just the tenacity of being a filmmaker.
Yeah,
Getting out there and doing it.
Yeah, because when you're young, you're inspired by like just cool stuff you're watching. But then when you're actually doing it, I mean, it's exhausting and frustrating and all these other things. But when you get through it, the whole arc, that what you learn along the way, the sociability, the people you meet, like that part of it is so much fun. And that's kind of what drives it.
That's pretty cool.
Probably not the most commercially, like, but at least I end up liking everything. I guess, so.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. So have you kind of, as your filmmaking career has gone on and as you've made more and more films, have you seen your the things that you like about filmmaking change?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, it was like anytime I tried a new concentration, which would be like, I don't know, let me try editing this one. Each of those are just like masteries that just take so many people. So while I'm not trying to be a jack of all trades, I found that each one I would tackle, I would find the movie being shaped by that. So there's been a couple movies I'd be like a perfectionist at the writing stage, but then get to the editing and be like, yeah, let's totally make this different and whatnot.
Interesting.
So I feel like it's and genre-wise, I feel like I'm just only probably now at like 35. Hasn't been till the last couple years where I feel like just you experience so much of life that then while you're writing and doing stuff, you're focused on more nuance. And so just as I've gotten older, I feel like maybe that's also changed what I'm interested in.
That's awesome. I have a question.
Yes.
I've wanted to dab into writing and also directing. You're dumb. Sam just dabbed. But as an actress, because that's majority of what I've done, is that I am thinking more in the sense of character, like, the feeling and stuff like that. How do you, what is your writing process and how long does it normally take you?
It's like, I actually put up, ever since I started producing my own stuff, maybe you guys do something similar, is I try to actually put these, like, I don't know, like improv boundaries and things up. So I kind of like do a scan around, like, what do I have? What sets do I have access to? And then with those, try to get creative with them then. So it's like I have a tunnel, a bunch of foam hatchets, and this. And I usually try to have something start there. And then I pair it with something I'm interested in. So a lot of like, I don't know, things that I'll just be reading or researching on my own that are intriguing. And I've found that juxtaposition, it just leads to a interesting journey. So I've had lots of times where at the beginning, the group I work with, we're like, let's do this with this and this. And we're like, let's see. I mean, I don't know what it looks like, but it has to be interesting. So I think striving towards those boundaries and staying within them always kind of limits me in the way, or else, you know, you become a perfectionist. You're like, it's going to be exactly like this. So having someone there to kind of be like, oh, don't do that, forces me to be creative around it.
Okay.
And I think that's probably in some cases, it makes you more creative because you're putting yourself within a box. How do I, you know, kind of bend the box walls a little bit to kind of fit it? And you have to, like you said, work creatively around it.
Totally.
So do you have creative partners that
Yeah.
you usually work with?
Yeah, there's about like 4 or 5 of us that always at least, you know, they'd represent like the department head. So some shooters I like, some editors I like, and whatnot. And I have a couple people at the beginning who I trust where I'll show them the script and they'll be truthful and be like, this is garbage. This is interesting. What's this?
Isn't that great to have friends like that?
Oh, I love it though.
That like are brutally honest. I love that.
Yes.
You gotta.
I love it.
You gotta, especially as a filmmaker. You gotta have people that be honest with your work.
Yeah.
So what are some of the projects that you've worked on or directed or just been involved with that kind of stand out in your mind as some of your more favorite ones or ones you're more proud of?
I did one that I'm really proud of is I did one called Reality, and our little barrier that we put up on ourselves was, do you remember pre-good camera phones, those really crappy flip cameras that flip like this?
Oh yeah, I had one.
Oh, you did? Yeah, same. So we had 3 of those, and we bought little lenses to put on them to get some medium and wide shots. It still looked like garbage, but we were like, how do we make a movie with this? And then currently in my life, I was exposed to the first time Rock of Love.
Oh boy. With Brett,
oh my
Brett
god.
Brett Michaels, yeah.
Yeah. So that came into my life while we were like, let's make a full movie. So it's got to be found footage, right? How do we make that not boring? And so just since we were just talking about the process, what we did was like, the movie's about a Dateline type of film studio that finds hard drives just in one of their dumpsters of like real crime footage of someone capturing 8 girls bachelor style and making them fight for his attention. But then they edit it like a reality show. So the footage is very grim, but it's got like the music cues, the slicing and the dicing to show the real villainry, which in my opinion are the TLC networks.
Oh,
So-
yes, absolutely.
So like that one's my favorite because like it cost us $500 in 2 days of just long form improvising because we needed just tons of content to chop up. So in filming of it was so cringy because in that one I act in too. So it's like, all right, everyone, let's just improvise this. It's gonna be real, you know, downer, and we just have to make it seem real. So the actual filming was just like so much to get through. But then editing it, I don't know, it turned out exactly how it was in my brain. And it reminded me of like when you're younger and you're like, well, I didn't have $500 to make movies. I was younger, but just such a small amount and focusing on the creativity. And it was kind of like rushed and I don't know. So that one always has a soft spot for me.
When you like envision something in your head and then it turns out to actually look like that, that's like the most satisfying thing ever.
Yeah.
Because it rarely does.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Like I would say 5% for me. I don't know about for you.
Oh, for sure. I feel like I can't even think of like a few examples of something that in my mind started as one way and actually turned out like that.
Yeah. And I feel like if you really understand your piece, and what's helped me from like writing my own stuff I work on, which may be a control thing too, but at the same time, like the benefit for me is like, you know where all those characters and the themes and where things have to go. So if you show up and the set is falling apart or someone is, you know, there's things you can't work around, but it's nice because when you just know it so intimately, you're not going to have a meltdown as much. Because if you know, the house burns down that you need to film in, you can instantly be like, how do I get creative within this framework, within this restriction? Because if you know what is going to ultimately be shown, that's how you can get creative with like a close-up that is representative of whatever you want to evoke with the house. So,
Yeah. Which we've seen a lot of films where that kind of direction gets swayed a bunch and it doesn't make sense at the end. Where it was like, okay, cool, you're just literally going probably piece by piece thinking of just really cool shots to
yes.
do. And those cool shots work, but for the logic of the film it doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
And we've seen one
I've seen a
movie
couple.
that I remember vividly.
Oh yeah, they just become like style over substance. And when you think about the expensive movies, they're like, well, I guess it makes sense. They don't want to walk away from some like, I don't know, $20,000 rig they set up, all the union workers they had paying it. And so they find themselves in this quagmire where they just have to move at a pace like a commercial. So they can't even improvise on like some human element because, I don't know. So it's kind of interesting to me, like the bigger and bigger projects are, of course, it'd be great to work on something like that and to have that money for your vision. But what ends up happening, because I think a lot of people forget, you know, I mean, the studios, you know, they're like little corporations, so they run in a different way. I mean, you can get creative within the framework, but yeah, so I don't even know where that tangent was going. But.
Like, I would like to direct a Marvel movie, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, you don't even get to, because aren't they all made in the animatic stage?
Pretty much.
I think that they are, and you just have to follow along.
They just want a big name for it to just sell. And truly, like, those directors probably are like, I'm just cashing in my fucking
property taxes.
$1 million and running off and doing an actual film that I'm going to be proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you working on now? What's next for Ready Freddy Films?
So I'm filming something next month, which the best way to describe that is like, I'm trying to do like a modern day, like rags to riches sort of story, but from the lens of content creators and what that looks like for people. But it also is like a biopic of Caligula. So trying to use the narcissism from characters like that, but with someone who, what their digital world is and the population from that, they bring that into the actual physical world and just affect the people around them, the kingdom they rule around them, and just how that works. So we're filming that, and then just writing and looking for stuff for fall for Western. So trying to get the scenes down for
Pretty
that, we can justify greenlighting that.
Very fun. Very fun. Love that. Do you have like costumes and stuff for this Western and guns? And
I go little by little sometimes. So like if I know that I'm producing it and I have like 6 months till look for sets, every time I come across stuff, like for the Caligula, for example, I was on Facebook Marketplace and found someone just getting rid of tons of heads of armor. And it was like $5 each. So I'm so ridiculous. I show up to get the Roman one because I was like, I need this in a couple months. And he's like, I got 5 other ones, $5 each. And you're like, I don't need them, but $5, I'll shoehorn them into something, I think.
There's going to be some project down the line where you're like, I have all these. So we got to have a little army here.
I can just imagine it being like if you have like a storage full of just like costume pieces and just stuff that you just
got a house, so you got more space for it now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then once I started loading up the room in the house, I was like, okay, let's get your prop hoarding under control and organized. So you do have to. There is the restraint. So now I only go 2 projects deep, whereas when I was younger, I'm like, 3 years from now, I'll be doing that thing. Let's put this Mega Man helmet I'm going to convert in the closet for 1 year.
I know I'm going to need this in 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's fun, though. You know, I feel like stuff like that, even though maybe you're just looking at 2 projects ahead or whatever, it continues to give you something to look forward to, too.
Sure.
And these little pieces or set pieces or costume bits can just be turned into huge forms of inspiration.
Yeah. Oh,
that's cool.
100%.
Last question. Have you locked down a horse? Do you have any horses in this Western?
Horses.
You know, I actually have. So
wow.
I have to travel to Upper Peninsula, Michigan for them.
Okay.
So, but I did find some old historical just places where no one monitors them, and so I'll be able to at least get some exteriors of some buildings and
That's
horse
cool.
farm nearby.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Great.
Well, I guess not horse farm. Are there
Horse farm.
farms?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there is, right?
Yeah.
Or are they just there on regular farms eating hay and doing their part?
It's a farm with horses hanging, I guess. Horse farm. Yeah. But that's...
I went to Iceland. There was horse farms, like
Oh.
little ponies.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like the
Farms?
little short ones.
I
Yeah.
didn't secure a pony yet, unfortunately.
Oh.
All right. Well,
So it's in the
At least
gutter
I'll-
until I get one of those.
I'm sure you'll find a way.
I'll call my people in
if you
Iceland.
found horses and you've already found a Western town, there's got to be a pony somewhere out there for you.
Somewhere.
There's got to be.
You're going to see it in 9 months, and it's just a duct tape and cardboard one. You're like, oh, maybe those limits are a little...
I mean, you figured it out though.
Exactly.
It was within the walls that you put yourself in, and you
True.
figured it out. Well, awesome, really cool. Excited to see all the stuff coming through Ready Freddy Films.
Thank you so much.
Please plug yourself for our audience once again.
Oh, yeah. You can check out a whole bunch of free stuff that we put online on readyfreddyfilms.com. And you can do... I'm so bad at our social media, but you can follow us at Ready Freddy Films on Instagram. That's probably the best one to check out as well.
Awesome. You can follow me, color me Leslie. My earrings are attacking me.
Careful now. And me at Beep Beep Richie T. Also us at the Deadlights Pod. And check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we're recording this at.
Yay.
Dustin, thank you very much. Again, let's get out of here. We're getting spooky.